Education is the element of our society that prepares its members as they grow with the skills and knowledge necessary to be a productive member of society. Therefore, it is and has always been a firm belief of mine that education needs to be something that is focused around motivating students to learn. When I refer to the term learn, I mean motivating students to ask questions and develop the mental processes necessary to become a successful and independent thinker. My philosophy of education is focused largely around the idea of motivation. If you can motivate a student, you can unlock a hallway of almost unlimited possibilities. Motivating a student to learn places them in the driver's seat of their education. Too many students these days cruise through the education system doing what they are told and performing only so well as not to fail. Giving students the power of motivation also creates an environment to form leaders. This idea of instilling motivation can be carried out through several instructional techniques. First of all, many teachers in public schools these days don't even seem motivated, so how can you expect your students to be? The key with having a motivational classroom is the energy it brings with it. If the teacher comes to class every day motivated, positive, and engaging, you will see the results in your students as they react to the positive interaction they are experiencing. Think back to classes you were once enrolled in. Which did you prefer? The death by PowerPoint environment, or one where the professor acted excited about content, cracked jokes, and tried to make learning fun? Also, as stated previously, the classroom should be a place to nurture confidence in students, forming leaders, and making them more willing to show initiative and be less afraid to fail. This can be accomplished by encouraging students to speak in front of classmates, giving them some control and freedom with assignments, and not holding their hand through every little thing the class does. While it may cause some students to feel unsure at first, most people need to be pushed out of their comfort zone in order for them to truly grow. Along with being motivational as a teacher, the perception your class curriculum gives off can go a long way toward either helping or hindering the learning process. Does your curriculum put a large emphasis on tests? Students who feel that all they are working towards is a grade on a test might feel discouraged towards putting in any extra effort or feel as though it is a waste of time to look into information that's not going to be tested. Regardless of academic subject, there is almost an infinite amount of things to learn and discuss, so why keep students from exploring? Encourage students to put in quality effort and show them that it is their work ethic that will be rewarded, not just their performance. Just as teacher attitude and curriculum can affect the learning environment, classroom management needs to be at the forefront. A class that cannot be properly managed will never be a positive learning environment. My philosophy on classroom management is more focused around mutual respect and less of an iron fist approach. I have been in classrooms that use both, and the overall feel of the iron fist approach is intimidation. This might keep troublemakers from speaking up some of the time, but it also keeps some students from participating. If the teacher can set clear goals and rules for the classroom, they can act more as a guide for the learning process and watch students grow while controlling situations that arise that threaten to hinder the learning process. While we have adequately covered instructional methods, beliefs on the purpose of education, and classroom management, what about the actual content, including literacy in the class? The sheer amount of content in many course curriculums is so significant and often causes the quality of the content to suffer for the sake of covering everything. Is it possible that much of the content in the curriculum is somehow connected? Why not create assignments which are able to include as many topics as possible, not only to reduce the quantity of assignments, but increase the time spent on the topics? Using the previously mentioned instructional methods, these multi-topic assignments allow students to learn on their own, access prior knowledge, and come to their own individual conclusions on the material. Combined, these aspects all add up to my philosophy of education. Motivate the students to learn, and eventually, the students will become their own engines for learning, relying less and less on teachers and more on the amount of information there is to absorb.